Hey everybody, what's up? Chuck here. Alright, we're looking at the front end of a 2005 Suzuki Boulevard M50. What we're going to do, we're going to pull this front tire off, the whole front wheel. Now if you refer back to one of my other videos, actually we're doing this all at the same time, just breaking it up into two different videos so it wouldn't be outrageously long. You'll see how we got the bike up off the ground, so I'll put a link right along in there. There's a place where you guys can go back to the other videos, see how we got it off the ground, the redneck way. And so, get on with the subject. You got to remove your brake caliper first. Here and there. And then what you got, there's nothing on this side where you're holding. And let me move to the other side. Now we're on the left side of the bike now. What you got here is a pinch bolt here. You got to loosen that up, which allows the axle to be rotated and moved out. So then you back this whole axle out. So we're going to get to that here in just a moment. We'll show you how it's done. Look at everybody, we're being invaded by the doggies. Alright, here's our pinch bolt. I've already broke everything loose. You take this bolt right here, which I've already, like I said, broken it loose. This has got to come all the way out. There you go. Then this, just for reference sake, this right here is a 10 millimeter. This is a 12 millimeter going up inside here. And like I said, it's already been broken loose, so just screw that axle out. Alright, let's see what we got here. Yep, we're ready. Alright, now at this point we just got the bikes just pivoting on this right here, so we got to find some way to make sure that if the bike's tail heavy, front heavy, to make sure we get balanced and so it doesn't tip over. We got the guard dog out here now. Alright, be back with you in a moment. Okay, I showed you on the other side where it's pulling the axle out, and before you get too froggy, pull the axle completely out. Make sure you get your caliper off. As you see, I probably was kind of napping at the wheel there, but you got a bolt there. And underneath the reflector, you got another one there. 14 millimeter. Take those two bolts out, and your caliper should slide right off. And there you go. Remove those two bolts, and that's what you got left. Just let your caliper hang down. And then you get the bike in position to pull the front wheel off. Okay, now the brakes off, caliper's off. Tilt the bike back, and we pull this axle out. And the front of the tire is falling off. Roll it back out of the way. And then we take this block, slide it forward, and tilt it down. And there's how we got it positioned. Rear swing arm. And we're going to have the tires mounted Tuesday. And assembly is reverse of disassembly. Alright, we have the front wheel off. While you're at it, do a quick inspection. You look at your front disc. There's no step, because sometimes what you get if you got a lot of wear, you got a step right here to where you can feel the wear. Then you feel your grooves here. It's natural to have a little bit of grooving like that, but if it's really deep, it means your pads are totally worn out. You need to check that. We'll go over there in a moment. Take your bearing, roll it, turn that bearing right there. Feel for any kind of notchiness or a little bit of bump or anything like that. Check your bearings good. That one feels right. Now flip this tire around. We're going to check this bearing. It feels good. And these are not serviceable. The only thing you could do with these bearings, if they were bad, you got to press them out and press new ones in, because they're a sealed bearing, as you can tell by this right here. So bearings feel good in the wheel. We're good there. Now we'll go to the other side and we'll look at the brake caliper. One thing also I need to show you guys, when we pulled that axle out, I was on the opposite side of where this spacer is. This spacer, if you don't see it drop out, it's over on the brake caliper side. As you see, there's your brake disc. Okay, see the side right here? There's a raised lip right there. Your bearing right here. See how it fits up the side there? That's where it's going to ride at. You can feel how it turns like that. And that's a spacer that holds it for the proper spacing for the caliper to line up with the disc. And not to mention, just keep the front wheel tight and not falling off. Okay, we're on the right side of the right side of the bike, and here's your caliper like I showed you a moment ago when I pulled it off. You can look at your brake pads. Look at those grooves. If you can get a good angle on the camera here. See those little grooves right there? That's what you look at. If those grooves are gone, new pads. Get it while you got the wheel off. Those pads look good. We got no major brake dust issues. So upon inspection, all that looks good. Be sure too, whenever you keep an eye on when you pull the wheel off, there's your spacer that goes on the inside of this right here. This right here is your speed sensor. There was a person on one of my that asked me some questions about a motorcycle when I put my shadow up on it. He had changed the rear gear, and he was asking me about the speedometer changing. Like on a car, if you change your gear ratio and your rear differential, or change your tire size, it alters your speed. That your actual speed versus what your speedometer reads. That is not an issue on a motorcycle at all, because your speed always runs off of your front wheel. This is an electronic sensor, so as this right here is turning, it's sending electronic pulses up to your speedometer, indicating how fast you're going. So if you change your rear teeth on this right here, you can't do it. But I like on my shadow, I'll put a link so you guys can see the shadow. It's got a chain drive. You can change the front sprocket, rear sprocket, and change your gear ratio. But no matter how many times I change the gear ratio, it does not affect the speedometer. So I just want to dispel that myth that some people believe that if you change the gear ratio that it alters your speedometer, because it does not. And there's your spacer, and let me give you a quick shot of the tires we're going to put on it. Everyone, I want to point out one thing too. You can either put your own tires, put your tires on yourself, or if you have a shop, put them on, just to double check to make sure they're being put on correctly. Look right here, see the arrow? Motorcycle tires are directional, and this one is located. There it is. So you're going this way down the road, so make sure that they're installed the correct way. Now here we have the wheel just laying on the ground, and here's where your brake shoes are. And what happens, it's kind of like a cam actuation. That lever right there, whenever you push down on your foot, on your right foot, push down the brake, it rotates this little flat plate right here. When that little flat plate rotates, it spreads these shoes outward. See how it spreads them out? So it takes the surface of the shoe right here and presses on the inside of this. And there's your brake. That's how all that works. So if you look at the meat on here, these look pretty good shape. But hey, you got the back wheel off. If you want to replace them, probably a good time to do it. And then you want to see your springs are in good shape, no rust, no binding, no crud. And that's just a solid race right there that the bolt just kind of floats on. The downside here, you want to look at your surface here, and we got no major heat cracks. Check your bearing. Bearing solid, no notchiness, no roughness. And the surface of that looks good, so upon inspection of the wheels and brakes, they look pretty solid. Now, to the root of the whole situation here, the reason we're pulling it all off. Alright, if we were drag racing, this was slicks, would be okay, but that's not the case. You get on a wet road with this, you're going to be biting asphalt pretty quick. There is what's going on. Those are going on Tuesday. Take it to a shop up here in town. They're going to swap them out, then we'll put the wheels right back on it. But in order just to keep the video short, there's really no need of doing a reassembly video, because reassembly is reverse of disassembly. So, anyway. Alright everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. You've seen how to take the tires off this M50. Not that hard, is it? So don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Get out there and crank your own wrenches, learn something. Hey everyone, give me a thumbs up for the video if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Peace out. See y'all.